Last time we talked a little bit about Freida Kahlo. And in that process, we were talking about how you can create an image with unexpected parts to it. And we talked about ironic juxtaposition. So it's ironic or unexpected to see the heart on the outside of the body here. And here we have two of the same person in the same image. So we're going to talk about the first step. If you wanted to work with a face and distort it or change it, you could do that in Photopea. So I'm going to show you how to distort or change a face in Photopea. So the first step is to go to photopea.com. So again, that's photopea.com. Inside photopea.com, you can start a new project, and the size of it really doesn't matter. I am using the Instagram size, but you can use any size depending on what you want to do with it, whether you want to print it. And here's standard paper sizes. Letter is what we most frequently use in printers. I'm just going to go with this size. You do not have to use a template. That's what's over here. You would just name it Friedas style and then your name. And then hit create. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how you can play around with faces. There's an interesting tool called the Liquify tool. So start with an image of your face. So if we look up my name on the internet, I'm just going to grab, because most of you are grabbing images from the internet. You can also open them from your computer, but you can grab a face. So I'm going to click on this face and hold down. If you're on a Chromebook, you hold down Alt and click to copy image. If you're on a Mac, it's Control and click to copy image, or right click on a PC. Then we go back to Photopea, and we're going to put that face in. So Control V or Command V if you're on a Mac. You can make it larger or smaller by using the arrow tool. So I call these the tools over on the left. This is the tools, and these are the layers. So I'm going to frequently go to layers and tools. So the top tool is our selection tool, or this is a tool that we use to move things. They call it the move tool. I'm going to check auto select and check transform controls. To resize it, I hold down Shift and drag from the corner. See, I have a corner box. Now, if I wanted to have two of these on the same screen, I can click on the layer. Over here's the layer. I press Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac. And then I can have a second copy right next to it. So you don't have to duplicate yours. I want you to see that you can duplicate. I also want to show you how to cut things out. So I don't want this distracting background from my classroom to be in there. So I'm going to use, there's several tools that you can use to select items. So these two tools right underneath the arrow are very useful for selecting items. So there's the selection tool that's a marquee selection, which is in specific shapes. Lasso gives you like a freehand way of selecting something. Polygonal is for more straight edges. And magnetic lasso tool is pretty handy, where you can click and you can drag along the edges of things and kind of freehand click and drag, and it kind of finds the edges for you. So you can see here it's kind of finding the edges of my hair, and then when I want to change direction, I let go and press again, and it finds the edges there. I let go and press again kind of frequently whenever I use this tool, but it does find the edges kind of nicely. As long as there's contrast between the foreground and the background, it does pretty well. So you can cut things out that way. And what it does is if you go back to the beginning, you'll see a dotted line, and that shows that the area is selected. When you do that, then you can hit this mask tool. tool, and the mask tool gets rid of extra items that are in the image by covering them with black on the mask. When something is black on the mask, it's invisible. And whenever it is white on the mask, it is visible. So you can alter the mask by painting black or white on it. So right now, if I wanted to make my eye disappear, I'm painting black and my eye disappears. If I press X on the keyboard and paint white, my eye comes back. So you can see that the mask tool can be handy for cutting things out, and you can change the shape of your cutout and fix it if it's not perfect. And it works really well. So then the second step that we talked about in class was to alter the image in some way. So I'm going to press Command J, and that made a copy of it. And I'm going to move my copy off to the side, and I'm going to make this second Kathleen Saxton look different. So I'm going to go to Filter, Liquify. And Liquify command is pretty fun to play around with. It has tools where you can change the shape of things. So I can look a little incredulous by changing my eyebrow shape here, my head shape. You have to be careful with how big your image is. I'm sorry, how big your brush is whenever you're using this. If you make a mistake, you can hit reset. And as far as the brush size goes, you can use the bracket keys on your keyboard, which are right above the quotation marks. It's like looks like a parentheses, but it's straight. The left bracket makes it smaller. The right makes it bigger. You can also adjust the size of your brush here. So I can kind of make it look like using this one, and I'll bring my size up a little bit so it's a little more drastic. I can make it look like I'm a little like, what? I can make my eyes look bigger if I wanted to by clicking on them, and it kind of enlarges whatever you click on. Looks like I have a black eye there. You can adjust an image quite a bit. I can make myself look, my mouth look smaller by bringing in the tool right here it's kind of a pinch or a shrink. In Photoshop, they call this punk and bloat, or this is bloat and this is punk or pinch. So you can mess with images quite a bit. If I want to make my nose smaller or whatever, you can really alter an image quite a bit by playing around with it in the Liquify commands. So you can change kind of almost what it feels like, what the person's face might feel like too. So play around with that, have fun with that. And when you're happy with it, then you hit OK. And you're trying to express some kind of message through your image where we're going to put unexpected things together with a foreground and a background. And so I'll break this up into another video where we can blend images together some more. I encourage you to use a photograph of yourself and never, never, never distort a friend's face or somebody that you know, because you can really hurt people's feelings. This is a dangerous area where if you just put a friend's face and you mess with them and put it on an animal body or do something like that, you can really hurt people's feelings. So it's important to remember that everything you do has power. So you are powerful and infinitely valuable, and always treat others the same. But treat yourself the same too. If you're going to distort your face, make sure you have a reason or a purpose in it. And maybe it's just to have fun and to joke around and laugh, and that's a good enough purpose. But it can also be to express an emotion. So just remember, you are powerful and infinitely valuable. Treat others the same.